What's up, Cheeba fans? How you doing? It's your boy Sylvester, aka Silcat, and right now I'm here in front of Chesapeake. Uh, yeah, it's hard as hell to pronounce that. Apothecary. You'll hear that in an interview. So we're about to do an interview with Mandy and the owner Seth about how Chesapeake all got started, and also get their views on question 4 that just went legal for cannabis to be recreational in Maryland. Stay tuned. What's up, Cheeba Magazine fans? How you doing? This is your host, Sylvester Edmonds, and I'm here with Mandy of Chesapeake Apothecary. I'm sorry, that's a tongue twister for me. So how you doing today? I want to thank you for letting us come on and talk with you.
I'm doing very well. Thank you for coming all of this way to come see us and talk to us.
Okay, I appreciate it. So let me ask you this: how did Chesapeake Apothecary get started?
So our owner, who started in culinary arts and hospitality, his family member was sick, and there's more on our website about it. He decided to pursue a cannabis dispensary license in Maryland when it became available, and was successful, and opened up the dispensary with a different mindset of how we would lay the dispensary out, how we were going to serve our patients and our guests. And that's carried into the different dispensaries that he's opened up here in Maryland, as well as in West Virginia. We've got several that have opened since Chesapeake Apothecary, this flagship store, was open. So a passion for helping others, passion for cannabis, the culture, bringing it back as an option for people in Maryland who are suffering from a variety of different illnesses, anything from mental illness to arthritis, chronic pain resulting from injury, or just lifelong diseases, people who are in cancer treatment, pediatric patients. Maryland is really expansive on what it covers, and so there's a passion there to help. And it's just definitely grown into a culture, into a brand, and it's really, really exciting. We're opening up the second location in Clinton coming up very soon. We did a job fair last Friday for that to try to man our store, and we've opened up the first social equity processor in Maryland called Alchemist Labs.
Alchemist Labs.
Yep, we've got 2 brands. Eden is right in front of you. It's all solventless. Very clean product. We've got Moroccan hash, which hasn't been on the market yet. Live rosin, bubble hash, no burn bubble hash, very good quality. And then we've got black temple balls, Nepalese temple balls from our temple brand, and bubble hash infused joints. And that's just going to grow with options and variety. And we're going to have a couple of different brands come out of that processor as well. So that's pretty much the story up until now of how we got started and where we are as far as our company goes.
How many years have you guys been in business?
Chesapeake Apothecary has been open 5 years, April 4th. So half a decade. It's crazy. I've been here since January of 2019. So I've been here for 4 years. Before that, I was at a different dispensary. I transferred here because of the difference in culture, the care that goes into curating the menu, and events too. We do have a lot of community events that connect different small businesses, especially like holistic businesses, like people who do yoga, meditation, people who make crafts, recycled, repurposed goods like Root Farms, had them out. We have our own seasonal food truck, taco truck. That's what's up there. Early bird and night owls. We just have a lot of different things going on.
And the food truck is like all infused?
No, it's not infused. It's just for the munchies. So it's burrito tacos, authentic burrito tacos, street corn, homemade pineapple juice and lemonade. Nothing infused. Anyone can come purchase. But we do have a lot of infused.
You guys are really getting credit with everything. I like what you said about the culinary part. So you guys have like a cook show or like a podcast or anything where people can see?
Right now, all we offer is classes. And so we have Saucy Willie is coming out February 19th for a live infusion class. It's Valentine's Day themed, so we're going to be teaching you how to infuse chocolates, edible topicals, lubricants, and some other treats. They've come to pass a couple of times, and they're going to be here again. We have a good relationship with them. So there is an admission to the class, but it's $10. It just helps them pay for their supplies. And then we also offer like deals on things that you can use to make your edibles later on. So for example, we have like distillate syringes or RSO syringes or isolate that you can use rather than the CBD hemp product that they use to demonstrate in class. If you're a patient, then you have access to all of that.
Yeah, we would most definitely like to check that out, and we'll be back to check out that class. That sounds awesome. I've always wanted to try infused chocolate.
Yeah, and if you're here, you should definitely interview them too, because they have their own. They actually have a business, and they just with this classes, they're coming back onto teaching classes. I believe after Rose wife started from her sickness to teach. They got a great story in and of themselves. So.
Have you ever gotten any testimonies of patients that have tried your products and actually, had, like you said, the chronic back pain, the arthritis and whatnot? Have you ever had a testimony that said, thank you, for healing me?
Oh yeah. Every day we get those stories, and that's really what keeps a lot of us coming back. One of the bigger ones that just recently happened was we had a first-time patient who was 20 years out of 9/11 first responders, and she was actually somebody who was instrumental in organizing and sending people out there. So she lost a lot of people, was very, very traumatized, had severe PTSD from it, and was on chronic pain for years for her anxiety. Something happened where her prescription ended, and she knew that something bad was going to happen when her prescription ran out. She couldn't get it filled for whatever reason, and had a seizure. This is back in November, October, and lost her ability to speak. So she comes in and she starts talking on the first patient. She's very nervous. You can tell she's on edge. She's very apologetic about it, but she can't help it. I thought she might have been deaf just by how she was speaking, but she told her story and told us that like she's going to her doctor's appointments or therapies, and anytime she heads up to the hospital and sees helicopters or anything that reminds her of 9/11, she has a full-blown panic attack, almost thinks that she's done. So she comes in here, I offer her something that's instant relief, something that can give you relief instantly, which would be inhalation. Inhalation gives you 6-second onset. She didn't want to smoke the actual dry herb. She wanted to smoke the vape cartridge. We agreed on that. So looking at the formulation, we're trained here to look at terpene profiles, percentages, the way that the terpenes synergistically react with each other. And then we could say, okay, this will most likely promote this result. So I ended up giving her AirPro and told her to go ahead and hit it when she was left here, when she felt safe that she could medicate, because she would have just needed it right then and there.
Right.
She leaves, she's having a doctor's appointment, and she calls back here, and she's crying. And I was like, oh no, did I give her something that made her panic more? Like, that can happen.
It can.
She said that she had hit it and kind of, forgotten that she sense of well-being, and she was pulling up to the hospital, and a helicopter landed. And she told me the story that she couldn't figure out why she could watch the helicopter land, and she felt normal. And so, for the first time in 20 years, she was able to see an ambulance, a helicopter, and not have a full-blown panic attack from one hit of this medication. Even though she'd been on Clonopin and a whole bunch of other things previously. So that story, to me, like 20 years out of 9/11, as an adult, have somebody come in who's completely traumatized, shaking anytime someone walks on the road, and then to call me after the fact and say, oh my God, thank you so much, you've saved me, you've helped me. And it's not me, it's just me facilitating it. And no, it can't fix everything, but I gave somebody who had to endure one of the most difficult things that our country's ever experienced historically some relief, and that's enough for me. That one story is enough for me. But there's a lot of stories like that. There's a lot of stories of people who, I have one woman who was coming in as a first-time patient who was preparing for an amputation of her foot with her husband. Yeah, and preparing for the life change, anxiety, the depression that was going to come with that, the pain, the actual pain. And she comes in all the time and is extremely happy with the results of what she's getting. So there's a variety of different conditions. We see children here. I lost a pediatric patient last year to cancer. Someone who I've been serving for years. It was very hard. But with a patch, his mom said, he can play video games. He can eat dinner. He's not laying on the couch. Incapacitated and not able to move after his chemo treatment. And no, he didn't survive, but the quality of life was improved. Those memories are there for his family to have. So I know that's all really heavy and really deep, but those are the stories that keep me driving an hour every day to my job for years and years and years.
Keeps you going.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I'm going to University of Maryland for the master's program in medical cannabis science and therapeutics, because there's a future in this. People are getting off of pharmaceuticals that are causing other issues.
Side effects that are very dangerous and deadly, and addictive.
Absolutely. I mean, people who are addicted to opiates coming here every day, I want to get help. I don't want to be on opiates anymore for my back condition, for whatever. And I've seen people drop. I mean, after being on the program consistently for years, I've seen people drop tons of weight. I've seen people improve their quality of life. I've seen people get rid of walkers. That's not always the case, but why is this still something that is federally a Schedule 1 drug? Why is this? If it's Schedule 1, then it's not supposed to have any medicinal value. That's incredibly inaccurate. We can just see that from the anecdotal evidence that I get every single day of people coming in here, spending money out of their own pockets because insurance isn't covering it.
Would you say that for some people it's hard for them to switch from what their doctors tell them to holistic medicine?
It is until, number one, either their doctor recommends try the medical cannabis program, or number two, they're out of options. Everything the doctor is telling them isn't working. So you have people, all the prescribing physicians in Maryland, most of them don't have, a lot of them do, but most of them are not primary care physicians. Some of them are, but not very many. And so a lot of them are not the ones that initially say, go get your card. Sometimes a doctor has to say under the table, maybe you should try this. Which, don't tell anybody I told you to do that. Because they're scared of losing their job with whatever big company, medical company that they're with.
One thing I did figure out once before, there was somebody I knew once before. She had cancer and she had to take chemotherapy. Not that she did. It's like she was just tired all the time. And then somebody I knew recommended, that she go to, a holistic medicine store to get better. But she was stubborn about it. She would always listen to a doctor, though a doctor never recommended she try holistic medicine. I don't know how she's doing, lately, because I haven't talked to her, but I just hope she's doing well.
Yeah, that's a lot of what we see. because other people are telling them this worked for me, or they read something that tells them, and they'll still come in here like really suspicious of it. I don't want to get high. I don't want to get high. And there's different ways that you can make that happen too. Get relief without being having a lot of psychoactive attachment, if that's what you want. Sometimes that high THC psychoactive attachment, or I guess aloftness, whatever you want to call being high, is what you need to help you with whatever you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you have a way of, explaining to people that a natural high isn't dangerous for them at all versus more dangerous things like, cocaine, LSD, etc.?
It's a lot of it has been ingrained in us. Dare program, what we've learned growing up, that obviously cannabis is a gateway drug. And so no matter who comes in here, unless they've done a lot of their own research, that stigma is still going to be there. And there's a lot of dismantling of that has to go on. And sometimes it's not on the first visit or the second visit. Sometimes it takes a year to penetrate that and to really get people to be open to trying higher THC products. I have medical cannabis patients who will only purchase on this side, or will only purchase like an 18-to-1 ratio of CBD to THC, because they are afraid of that. And if they go into it afraid, then they're probably not going to have a great experience, So there's a lot of education that goes on, and a lot of consulting, and then building a lot of trust, because like you said, a lot of people come in here without doctor recommendation, their main provider, and they go independently and get their card, and they're keeping it a secret from their primary care, or they're keeping it a secret from their pain management clinic, because not everyone can get off of everything and get right on cannabis. So some people are doing their methadone clinic, and depending on who their doctor is or how the center policy is, they could get kicked off the program. Some doctors, pain management doctors, are willing to work with the cannabis program because they actually care about people being dependent. But some people are just there for money and business. And what's going to happen when people ultimately all go to medical cannabis? They're going to stop taking Percocet as much. They're going to stop taking all of these other gabapentin and all of these blood pressure medication, diabetes medication. Not everyone can get off all of them, but some do, and some greatly minimize them. So that's money lost for somebody. And that's a scary thing for these big pharma companies, stock market, think about it. So that's
people are starting to wake up to this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the point. People are starting to wake up to the point that holistic medicine, plant life, is medicine, not something man-made. Now, not all man-made things are bad, but just as long as it has a plant-based, thing going on, it's healthy for you.
Yeah, it is. And if you know about the breakdown of like the simplest science behind it, then that idea of it being like, BS or magic or hippie stuff, that goes away. It's purely scientific. You've got endocannabinoid system in your body. You've got CB1, CB2 receptors affecting the mind and the body. And what does cannabis do? Those compounds directly link up and mimic natural drugs that your brain already makes, like anandamide. THC mimics anandamide, which your brain already makes, and links to the receptors and acts the same way. That's why cannabis stays in our system for 30 to 40 days or more at a time, because it's comfortable in our system, because it probably belongs there. We probably should always have had cannabis in our diet, and we probably should have always used it as a form of medicine. Autism is an endocannabinoid deficiency. Think about that. So if you were to supplement and create homeostasis with cannabis, then that's balance, that's wellness, that's help with things like sleep regulation, appetite, and mood regulation, and seizure control. All of those things can be helped, and I've seen it in real life, with cannabis.
Right.
Not a cocktail.
And I like how you said this. So basically you're saying is that what plants are out here already, also already in our bodies without it being in our bodies.
Right.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. For example, when you ingest cannabis, when you ingest delta-9 THC, your liver processes it into a drug that doesn't exist anywhere else, 11-hydroxy-THC, which is about 10 or more, depending how stronger than THC itself. So Your liver creates a special chemical, metabolizes THC into a whole nother drug. We're meant to consume, to eat, whatever, have in our diet, cannabis in one form or another. So knowing that and realizing that, it makes you understand that there's an untapped or lost medicine that should be federally.
Sorry, folks.
That's okay.
My barber just called me. I guess he just got back in town. Sorry about that.
Time for the fade.
Otherwise, I would have got a haircut this weekend. We decided to go on vacation. Thanks.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm sorry. Where were we? We just got off topic.
I don't know. I was just running my mouth about cannabis.
No, I love all this. So basically, what she's saying is let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food. Yeah. In a nutshell. Okay. So for our last question, I wanted to ask, so of course you already know about question 4.
Yep.
The legalization of recreational marijuana here in Maryland. So what do you see for the future plans coming in July?
That's probably like the most asked question from anybody. The truth is, we don't know what it's going to look like yet. We don't know. We anticipate that the licenses that exist, that are medical licenses, will somehow acquire the recreational licenses. It's going to be regulated probably by Tobacco and Firearms rather than the Medical Cannabis Commission.
Which is weird.
Yeah. But because it's going to be something that's adult use, we're going to have to get the same system pretty much that alcohol sales do, liquor sales do, to check IDs and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
As far as product goes, there could be a difference in what recreational users can get as opposed to medical. Potency in type, like I don't know if edibles are going to be on the market initially for recreational. And I don't know what it's going to look like for the layout of the store, because if you've been to Denver or Colorado, you know that medical is split off on one side that rec can't access, and then rec is on the other side. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it would be more like Nevada, where you go in the same facility, there's just a couple items that are medical only. I don't know what the grows will be. Are they going to grow recreational cannabis in the same facilities that they do medical cannabis? What I do know is that with medical cannabis, there's still going to be no tax, so you want to stay on the medical program. If you want access to all the products that you've been having access to in Maryland, you want to stay on the medical program. Taxes are going to be involved, of course, recreational. And that's pretty much all we know. I know they've been doing legislation over the bill, or they're changing some things, and you can like look online to see what the discussion is, but I think they're reconvening today actually on what the conversation is, because they were saying some crazy stuff I think on Thursday or Friday about what the bill's going to look like and postponing it possibly to January instead of July. I don't think that'll stand. I think that would make people very upset.
Yeah.
But I hope, and what everybody thinks is going to happen, that in July we will open our doors to 21 and up, and that anyone can come in and purchase something with THC in it. Because a lot of people stop in from all different places. Can we buy? Like I can sell you some CBD or a bomb, but nothing with THC.
Right. I can't wait for July to come around. For the one thing I don't get is, okay, why separate medical and recreational? It's pretty much all the products. It's pretty much the same thing. Dealing with the same compounds. Why separate it? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't.
Yeah, I think some places have like a max THC of about 26% on flower. Maryland's got flower that's almost 40% without having anything concentrated on it. So, yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't know what they'll do as far as that. They probably want to make sure medical patients have first access and get it. Cancer patients, you don't want to run out of RSO. Cancer patients are using it to treat their illnesses, but there's plenty of flower to go around and meet up with things. So
That's good. Well, see you guys in July. I'm really looking forward to Cannabis sure you are too. So be on the lookout. In July, there's going to be some changes coming.
Yeah.
Mandy, I want to thank you so very much for having us today on the Cheeba Magazine show.
Thanks.
And as a gift,
Mhm.
I made this myself. It's a rolling tray. I made myself. It's pretty much a rolling tray within a rolling tray. And the very first Cheeba girl made on a lighter.
I'm honored. I appreciate you. Thank you. This is really cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm glad you like it. Okay, we'll see you on the next episode, folks, and hopefully we will be getting that class learning how to make infused chocolates and whatnot. I'm really looking forward to that.
Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.